Okay, let's see if this works because I was so dumb. Okay, let's see. There are no guarantees. I'll be so irritated. Oh, no, it's going to start. Okay, good. So now I have to go into Facebook really quick, you guys. I'm sorry. It's so stupid. I'm going to beat my dog. And then after I beat him, I wish somebody else could beat him. Okay. No, so my new favorite thing is the pallet store. And why is that? Because I could not believe how cheap everything was. And you're like, because it's crap. No, it's really, it was good. You guys, it was good. It was really good. Why is that not posting there? I have no idea. I'm just going to burp and don't mind me. Oh my God, there's so many pretty things on, there's so, you're like, stop. We don't care about that. We want you to pay attention to us. I'm going to in just a second. You guys, give the girl a chance. You guys, you can't even believe what's been going on. You probably can actually, but it's been really hectic because hay went up to $383 a ton. You guys, $383 a ton. So for those of you who don't know, $383 a ton is like so incredibly high. It's because I usually pay $110 a ton. I got so hysterical. I'm not kidding you. I got so hysterical that I was like, I'm not going to be able to farm anymore. I really went to this place, this horrible dark place. You're like, wow, the Landmark Farm really helped you, huh? I'm still me. Anyway, so, but before I tell you that, I should tell you that now there's an old link. Don't use that because I had to delete it because I did click a box, but apparently it didn't take. Anyway, you're like, so it was your fault. Yes, so I'm sorry if you were waiting, but I have to look away again. Stop looking me in the eye. It makes me feel bad. Anyway, this is the thing with hay. So what happened was, remember, I told you, I get kickouts. They're called kickouts. This is what's happened, and I'm not trying to be political about the whole hay thing and the agriculture, except you can't not be. What happened was, I told you, the empty tankers to China, they realized, because they're the #1 sheep producer in the world, China. So they started putting all of our alfalfa hay from the Imperial Valley. Well then, all of these producers here, and then companies like Anderson Hay would have their own land and then buy other producers' hay and broker it and then send it to like Taiwan and Korea and the Middle East. And well, the Middle East got really smart and they have a lot of money and they're like, you know what? Why don't we just start buying all of the hay fields and all of the land because we got a lot of money and we'll just like cut out the middleman. And that's what they do. So now we're hit by the fact that the Chinese were buying all of our hay since 2008 during the banking crisis, and then of course today. And now the Middle East, because especially in the UAE and Saudi Arabia, they are buying our land and they're just cutting out the middleman, which means we're not getting that hay. So our hay prices right now, and then last year was a really bad drought, and there were a bunch of beef producers who got out of the business because of that. But they're buying, so where are they buying the land? They're buying the land everywhere. And so at first, people weren't really concerned. Like people used to laugh at me in the Midwest and in New York being like, ha, 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 we have so much hay. Our hay is like $3 a bale, while ours was like $16 and $17, which is what it's right now. It's $17 a bale for about a 90-pound bale. And so, but now they're buying like Idaho land. They're going all the way east. So Arizona is a big one. They bought a lot of the Imperial Valley, which is in California. They bought New Mexico and Utah, Idaho. So it's hurting. If you can't feed your animals, nobody can pay. You guys, when you're used to paying like $80 a ton to $110 a ton, and all of a sudden you have to pay, mine right now is $383 a ton at the feed store if I had to get it at the feed store. And they're very reasonable. So my neighbor is a hay broker, so I had to so I was like, okay, because you think about the keystoning, like that's what you do typically when you buy something, because you have to take risk. So like when I go and broker fleece, I'm taking a risk because all that fleece is not going to be passed on to you because nobody skirts. Most people obviously don't sell in pound things, right? They sell entire fleeces. Well, they don't skirt necessarily very, perfectly. So you pay for the weight in shipping, but me, I pay for the weight in shipping, and then I take a risk that the fleece may not be that good. And everybody knows if I just ship that fleece back because I didn't like it, then it's going to cost a shit ton of money, and there's no point. You just really have to keep it, and you have to sell it at a discount and just take a hit on it, right? So, but in hay, I was thinking that was the same way because, it's the same thing. There's a lot of loss because some of the bales could have mold in them, whatever. It might, Anyhow, so my neighbor is a hay broker, so I had to go over there, and I went over, and I was just like, hey, listen, I don't like to ask anybody for anything, but I really need you to sell me my hay wholesale. I said, the company that I buy my hay from, they shut down, which he knew. I said, in California, and so, they're in Washington, and there's nothing I can do, and I only have one stack of hay left, and I go through 1,000 pounds a day. So anyway, he was like, okay, well here, I'll totally sell it to you wholesale. I have no problem doing that at all. But it's going to cost you $35 a ton. I go through a ton every 3 days. It's going to cost you $35 a ton to, or actually 2 days, really. That would be 2 days, 1,000 pounds a day, 2 days. But then grain on top of it. $35 a ton for the guy to haul it from Arizona. On top of, and he shows me what he pays. Like, he just gotten a couple emails from people that had hay because he sells to the racetrack, and the hay was $280. That's what he was paying, $280 a ton. So I could have got it. The cheapest I could have got it was $280 a ton, and then $35 on top of that. Plus, it would cost $180 to have it unloaded. I'm telling you, like there. And then, oh, you guys, I'm not even trying to complain more. So I told you my electric bill is between $700 and $1,000 a month. I know, and this is a 5-acre facility. This is not some but I have all electric everything. This is even before Airbnb, by the way. And so I got a thing online. It says, congratulations, you're going to be getting a credit, and this is so great. It's going on about the environment, and I didn't know what it was talking about, and it's that SoCal Ed, Southern California Edison, is paying for carbon credits. So it's not me getting a credit. They're charging me more. I can see if you're a big corporation and you want to pay, you want to donate money for carbon credits, because carbon credits aren't real. You can't offset anything in the climate by just giving money, but they're charging me more, everybody more. I got so pissed off, and they're calling it a credit like we should be. And isn't that exciting? You're helping the environment. I'm like, no, what would be exciting is if China and India stopped polluting. That would make me happy. Not me paying more money. I just am like, how are people, like, if people are really that worried about, income inequality, and you can't tax people to death. You just can't. You can't take their food. You can't take the products to make the food. Like, agriculture is just so, you guys are like, could you just shut up? Can we talk about boots? Okay, I'm sorry. That's the preface. You're like, the preface was so uplifting. Oh, there was a point to this. You're like, besides you complaining. Yes, the point was, I've spent the last 3 days. Oh, they're called a backhaul. Do you guys know a backhaul is when a trucker is going somewhere and they're dropping off a load, and then they have an empty truck on the way back. And for me, I have to have an open flatbed. And so open flatbeds, typically aren't what people are bringing back from somewhere that I would need something from. But there's a manufacturer, oddly enough, in Yoruba Valley, which is only it's like a 60 minutes north of me, not even that, maybe 40 minutes north of me, and they're taking aluminum, whatever it is that they make there, they're taking it to Montana, which is a huge hay producer. So I just start scouring the internet, and I had to go on when I say scour the internet, there's hay, there's weedmap.com, which is, or weed map. Weed maps is it's for marijuana. If you want to find weed, it's a map of the United States, wherever you can buy weed it has these little dots, right? There's the hay maps too. So there's hay maps, don't smoke it. And so there's these little, but they haven't started, baling. Nobody's really started baling, so it would be from 2018, which, might not even be that good. There's probably going to be problems with it. But anyway, so since he's coming, so I put a bid, ridiculously cheap bid of it'll be $1,400 to have this, whatever it is I can find in Montana, shipped back to me. And most of them have really big round bales, which I won't even get a full load because they can fit about 24 tons on this truck that I'm sending. But they can't even get close to that in the big round bales, because you can't make them double too wide, because they'll be sticking over the sides, and California won't allow you to do that. Other states will, but California won't. So I know another great thing of California. So they'd have to drop half of the load, in a parking lot somewhere, of these giant, 1,500-pound round bales, and then how do you get them on? How do you get them off? So that wasn't going to work. They could stop at the Arizona border, which I live 2 hours from. So anyway. After doing this, you guys, I can't even tell you how many things I must have called. Sean probably called 150. I probably called 150 places between North Dakota and New Mexico, Arizona, just everywhere, just trying to find hay that wasn't going to be, that it was just going to come out to a reasonable price for me. And so I found 2 loads in Montana that are on the way. but I just this second, right before I got on with you, I found, so, and it's going to average, it's going to, for me, it's not, he said it's not perfect. There's some of it might have a little bit mold inside, but it's nothing, but it's been stored inside and everything. It was just that it was a little damp when they cut it, but he said you may not find any. And for sheep, that's fine. But anyhow, it's going to be $175 a ton delivered. So yes, it is not. He's charging me $108 a ton. So I was paying $110 a ton. So it's actually less than what I was paying, but because of the shipping, it's making it more. But anyway, you guys, I can't even tell you how hysterical I was. I wasn't crying, but I was watching my life flash before my eyes, because you can't, there's nobody, think about the amount of revenue that takes if you have to pay $383 a ton and you're going through a ton every 2 days. That's not sustainable. I mean, how do I have a business? There's no way, you know, I'd just be racking up. And, you know, what do you do with them? No, I mean, I've got 300 head of sheep. What am I going to do with them? Like, I mean, they're just going to go all to slaughter. You know, there was I mean, I have a very large flock of Teeswaters. There they go. And I wouldn't have time to wait to sell them. They would have to just go. I mean, it was like dire. Anyway, that's my story, baby. It's a hard one, man. Farming is tough. You know, it's tough for everybody. And then Shannon said I paid $400 for third cutting last year. But $400 for $400 a ton? Oh my God. That's nuts. Shannon, are you over on YouTube? Am I not on YouTube? Yeah, I am. Whew. You guys are like, do you want to look? That made me nervous. I am on YouTube. So my makeup looks so terrible because I was passed out. Oh my God, Ellie Mae says, is my internet working for a few hours on Tuesday nights? Too much to ask? Yes. Anything technology. I got sunburnt today. That's why I look really crappy. You know, you're like, you always look crappy. I get the same notification. PG&E sent it as well. Oh my God, that makes me feel so much better. I about lost my mind. So I went to have solar. And you guys, the solar for my house, the bids were $100 grand, 70 to 100 grand. So I don't need tax write-offs, just to let you know. Farmers do not need tax write-offs. We can't even use all the tax write-offs that we have. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a legitimate business, you know, because you have to actually make money every year. So, but it's a cash flow thing. I mean, I can still buy things, you know, et cetera. And it's not like, you know, I mean, we don't have any money, you know, we don't have a safety net, believe me. But, you know, I mean, you know, I can feed my animals, my electricity's still on, you know, that kind of thing. And I don't even know why I was telling you that, because I've lost my train of thought. But I will tell, it's the solar. But one of the solar companies was like, it's 40, no, it's really not 100,000 because you're getting a 30% tax credit. I'm like, I don't need a tax credit. I need it to be $30,000 cheaper. That's what I need. One came in at like 49,000. Sean said there was one that was 49,000, and I could buy the panels. It's really not that hard to do, apparently. I mean, people are like, yeah, right. If you have all of it, you know, there are companies that you know, it's like a DIY and they just send to everything. But that in itself, I want to say was like 30. It's because I want to get, I mean, I'm so pissed off that I'm just donating this money to them every month. And the way that they sell it to you, this like $49,000 or $50,000, whatever, they're like, no, it's, you know, the way you're going to be really saving a lot of money, because instead of like $700 to $1,000 a month, you're only going to be paying like $350. And for 20 years. And I'm just like, I don't know. It really is. It's really, and then, you know, I think about how much money, like, I just think about how, you know, people, you know, that have, you know, like, is it Tom Schultz? Is that the one, the Starbucks CEO? You know, and I just thinking that they really, they worked very hard, and they had great ideas. And, you know, so many people have great ideas and do great things, and you never can acquire that kind of money. I mean, it's really staggering, the amount of money that's out there, you know, and that, you know, and there are people that just are, they just, you know, but, you know, I look at Jack Ma. You guys have to look up Jack Ma. You really have to watch him, because I'm not kidding you. Like, that guy, that's one of those guys where when you watch his story, you just, it's so inspirational. Like, if you're in a bad mood and you feel like you're downtrodden and your business sucks and like you're not getting anywhere, you have to watch him. You have to watch him because he will really make you happy. And the way it's really, he takes it in the, he takes it in the chin a lot. He's taken it in the chin a lot in his life. And when you look at him, he looks like there might be something, he might not be super bright. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, you take one look at him and you're like, yeah, this guy is not bright. And he's highly intelligent. And he's just got a great attitude. You're like, could you just get on with fiber shit? No. You guys, I want to take you out so bad. I really did. It's like I actually dried a bunch of fiber out there and it's got leaves all over it. And vehement from the wind. It's bad, really bad. Oh, where's my glass? Anyway, let's see. You got the same one. Hello, Diana and Hexenwald Ranch and Betray 182, and she got the same notifications to PG&E. And Amber Pilkins said, "Holy shit." I agree. And also, so now when I'm commenting, it's slow to the conversation. Oh, damn it. On your YouTube feed, Facebook was a little quicker. Weird. You want me to go over there? I'll go over there too. It's going to be another bad year for crops. And hay with the fires and flooding in the Midwest is already having issues with. Hey, Samantha, that's the opposite for us. Because we're going to hay, the forecast for hay this year is that it's going to be we're going to have an abundance of it. So what I need to do, I already know what I need to do. I can't do what I used to do where granted, in November I bought, the 80,000 pounds of hay. So, preparing for this company but I thought they were going to be back up in 3 months. So I thought I had a cushion, right? So, but in the West, because we had so much rain, like the forecast is great. And I'm going to have to, instead of, going like, every 6 to 8 weeks and getting another load, I'm going to have to literally like buy hay and just tarp it because I don't have storage. There's no storage, but this one tarp that I have worked great, and so I'm just guessing that another one will be just fine. The ones on the very ends get kind of funky, but I don't care. If I'm in business, I don't, legitimately in business and not scared of running out of feed. And then what I had to do, since I'm afraid of running out here, what I do is I up the grain and I lower the hay ration. So they usually get like so much hay that there's hay left over the next day. Not anymore. Now they get grain, like they get 3, like in a pen of like, I don't know, like let's say 20 sheep, they might get like 3 buckets, like big 5-gallon buckets of grain, and then they get like, I took up 1/3 of their hay. So they're getting a lot more calories and protein, but they're just not getting as much hay because I can't run out of hay. They can't live without hay. They can live without corn, but they can't live without hay. They have to have it. Those little bacteria. Hi, Ms. Dahlia. Jan Massey. And Darlene, I remembered. Christine and Ellie Mae and Ms. Shelley and Valerie. Okay, let me see. And then, let me see. And then Samantha said by the time you pay off the solar panels, when you pay, yeah, they do. You will need, oh, yes. Oh, really? Samantha, you're by the, but see this is what I was thinking. Okay, so what I want to do, okay, I really want out of California. It's the California, there are a bunch of crazy people here. And you know what? People, when they hear I'm from California, they don't even really want to sell me hay. So I say, hey, whoa. Before you go any further, just to let you know, I'm not a crazy person. Well, let's not take a poll. Anyway, but I say, listen, I'm not one of those people. I'm a native Californian. Most native Californians, totally, we got it. We know what's going on. It's all the people that are coming here that think this is like some utopia for like communism and socialism, right? Which, I mean, I'm not, passing judgment on people that think that's great, but I'm just going to be straight with you. My grandfather fought in World War II and was a prisoner of war, and my entire, youth growing up, he's like, would you like to have a passport to go from Nevada to California? Because basically, baby, that's what's going to happen. I mean, and if you want to have the fear of God, go and watch. Go. And the thing is that with socialism, and that they think that people think that socialism is like open borders and everybody comes and we take care of everybody. But in socialism, they don't let people out. You don't get to leave. It's not about letting you are. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's like the wall was built to keep people in. What Berlin Wall wasn't to keep people out, right? I mean, they don't want anyone leaving. Like, watch Karl Marx City on Netflix, and I'll tell you, yeah, that gives you a healthy dose of Stasi. And, and it's not a movie, it's a documentary. It's a documentary, and it's like, and the people that made it, their dad, I'm pretty sure that they thought, I can't remember exactly what the premise was, but I think the premise was that they were trying to investigate whether or not he was part of the Stasi. and it ended up he wasn't part of the Stasi. And it's really crazy when you watch it, you know, and it just brings back memories of my grandfather, you know, my whole life growing up, and, you know, putting the fear of God in me about communism and socialism. Anyway, let's see. And then Samantha says, I'm on the East Coast and that's bad. That is bad for us. Hey, we'll be through the roof. Really? That's so horrible. And we won't get sunlight. Bat ray, like the sea creature. I'm so dumb. Betray. I said it like I was French. I knew I would have to butcher something. Hi, Mandolin. And then Mandolin said she helped shear 50 alpacas and 10 llamas, and she got kicked and spit on by llamas, but the alpacas were actually fun. Now, I love llamas. I love llamas way more than alpacas. No offense to alpaca breeders. I just love llamas. I'm a llama girl. I'm like a, you know, pack horse kind of person. And let's see. And then Madeline says she got a grumpy kid to bed, which is awesome. It's nice when they go to bed and they're grumpy. And then Miss Shelley says, my husband used to install solar, and it's crazy how much they charge to install it because it's actually really simple. Thank you, Miss Shelley. So I can, but the bid was $19,000 from China, from Alibaba. And it's like a solar company, like it, you know, legitimate, and it's like been in business. That says on there 10 years. It's got a 5-star rating, and so I'm not worried about. I'm not, because I put the money in escrow anyway, and they guarantee it. I mean, guarantee that you're going to get the product. However, $19,000. I'm sorry. If I'm doing it myself, doesn't that seem a little high? I could be wrong. I only asked one person, but it just seems like, I don't know. I was thinking 15. I was thinking 15 would be reasonable. Maybe because I'm broke, I'm cheap. Except if it comes to boots or shoes. I mean, a girl's got to live, right? It's not like I'm drinking fine wine. I don't drink wine. I'm paying over $1,000 for 200 bills. What? Linda? That's ridiculous. How can you even have animals? And I'm complaining? Okay, I'm feeling bad. Small business farmers are being weeded out by commercial farmers. It's insane. It's not even the commercial farmers for us. It's really, I'm telling you, it's, and you know, you don't want more regulation, so I don't know what the answer is. And it is, you know, quite frankly, the Saudis will, and they'll pay whatever a person wants for the land, right? I mean, whatever you can ask anything. So I mean, that's, you know, capitalism, and I'm all for that. So, you know, on one hand, you know, you just don't want them being able to do it. You can't make laws where, you know, like I think it is Mexico has like where you can kind of pretend by it, but it's never really yours, right? It's always the you know, I mean, you want that either, right? So there is no answer to the quandary. It's just the way it is, you know. That's the way it is. You can't regulate everything and just, you know, tie our arms, right? People should be able to sell their land to whoever they want to sell it to for the highest bidder. And so, you know, I can just, you know, bitch, moan, and complain about it, and, you know, figure out how to have a bit, you know, the hard thing is that, you know, you always try to figure out how to make your business better so that you can afford, you know, to, you know, and hopefully at some point put money in your pocket, right? Which I don't think ever really happens in farming, because you always have to, like our clutch just went out in our tractor. You guys, the part is $200. The labor's $1,500. It's like insane. The clutch, because they have to take the entire tractor apart. It's like, so it just never ends. There's never a place where, like, if you have a, you know, like if, you know, like I did really well, and I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for buying from me on the last sale, because, you know, I did, and it made up for, you know, because we had some bad sales in December. So it made up for that. But, you know, when you get that, then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go out to dinner. You just get so like going out to dinner is so sweet, because you never get to do it. And if you do it, you know it's going to be on your credit card, and you're going to have to worry about that extra money that was on your credit. I mean, it's just nice to be able to, I guess it makes life sweeter. It does make life sweeter when, you know, you don't have everything, right? Because if you have everything, then you don't appreciate things. Let's see, I'm looking, oh, I'm going the other way. Wait, I was going up and then I'm going down. I'm going down. Okie dokie. What? The employees of the company say they will never have solar? What? If they had my bill, they might. Don't you think? The only thing that I'm nervous about is we have to be able to, Samantha, we have to be able to have it permitted. Permitted, because it's still going to tie into Southern California Edison. Let's see. And then Samantha says she loves llamas. Her grumpy kid is still up. Broke my ankle. Yes. Oh my God. She broke her ankle. I'm sorry. And then, okay, I'm going to butcher. Is it Fawn? Wilkerson, I'm so funny. I'm actually don't think I am very funny. I actually thought it was really, I'm going to be funny though. I'm going to really try. You're like, okay, don't try because your timing sucks. My comedic timing isn't that great. But I'm standing in a bunch of, you guys, I did tell, I mean, I'm not kidding you. I fall so much. And today I've decided, this is my other brilliant move. I thought it would be a great idea until I'm so exhausted. I said to my son, we're going to move because I have some ewes. I have my flocks. I have flocks, A flock, B flock, C flock, D flock, and then I have animals in the periphery. Just those. These are these like pastures, right? And then like in paddocks, I have other paddocks. I have animals too, based on whatever. And so I said we're going to take all of the ewes out of D flock because there's some rams in there too, and there's some younger ones that aren't pregnant, and there's some ewes that maybe are barren, and I don't want those ones. They don't get as much food since I have to like tighten my belt, right? And I said to Sean Connery, and you know, none of these are halter broke, by the way, so we're talking about like, okay, so upwards of, some of them are 280 pounds. And so I use a feed cart, like I have to like take their legs out from underneath them and put them down into a feed cart and then have them on their back and then wrap the halter, the lead rope around their feet like this and then push them to the next paddock. But the hard part, you guys, I need you to picture this. There's like 40 sheep in each of these. And they all have babies. And the minute you bring the dog in, the babies flee, and you don't know whose baby is who. So it was like bird watching. You're like you're like literally standing there with it, and you have the dogs standing by you. So everybody starts feeling comfortable again, and then the babies go to the mothers. And then you have to make some identifying feature of the mother and the baby from a distance, because whatever you grab, you have to grab the right baby, because not all of them are going to make it. There was no way I was going to be able to do all of them in one day. There's no way. Because you have to drag him to the car. It's just like, it's really labor intensive. And we did, oh my God. So this is so what happens though, my idea is that you get all of the ones that have high plane of nutrition, and then you take the ones that you're weaning, the mothers out of, and make room for them in the other paddocks, so that that's the pen that doesn't get very much food. So they're getting laid off. They're getting like, they're going to get a quart, like literally, maybe, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe half the amount of food. Because there's boys in there, barren ewes, or ones that are full grown but are younger. They're like, you know, yearlings, and they're not going to breed till this year. And that was just like, oh my God. So you guys, and some of them are just big eaters, man. There were some, they were just, I can't even tell you how obese they are. And you know they can't breathe when they're like that. It's really bad. But I did shear so much. I sheared one ram, you guys. He kept, and I was like, this ram is so uncomfortable. His fleece was like this long under the blanket, and usually you can't do that because it's so hot. But because it's winter. Did I bring that fleece up? I think I did. Let me see. It was so, and I thought it's going to be ruined. See, these are my bags. Like when I come in, so I just drop. Like when I come in from shearing, I just drop it. I throw them in this room, and then then usually, if I'm not having a beer attack, I take pictures of them because it's already skirted. I skirt it off of the shearing stand. Because okay, so the way it usually works is when somebody shears, somebody else comes along and puts it in a bag, and it has to be skirted later. But because I'm shearing it, I skirt it as I'm putting it in the bag, and that's like a first skirting. But then when I sell it, since I sell it by the pound, I re-skirt it kind of as I'm putting it in the bags, the small bags, the 1 pound bags. But anyway, so I will take a picture of it and then put a lot number on it, a LOT number, so for the sale, because there's going to be sale this weekend. And then I'll have all these, then I'll be able to put them online and schedule them. And I have, oh my gosh, and then I started dyeing stuff too, because you get, you know, I have so much of my UK fleece left. Here's one thing that I do. Oh my God, the color, you guys, is so amazing. This isn't one of the longer ones. Wait, hang on. I don't know if you care, but I'm showing you anyway. And it never looks very good, you guys, on this screen because it's going through the internet. This is like 12 feet long, and it's so hard to photograph because it looks black. It's like dark blues and like teals, and it's like electric blue. I don't know. Can you see this? It's so amazing. This is so, I'm not kidding you. So it's like 12 feet long, and these locks are super long. This is some of the UK fleece. my point is because I'm going back that, yeah, it's like super long. It's like long. And that's just one part of it. But anyway, and so then I have everything ready to put on so that then what my girl Kristen does is puts it in a spreadsheet so that she knows how much, you know, what's sold and what hasn't sold and how much to invoice, and she's so organized. She's really good. So over there now is a total pig pen of fleeces accumulating because I've been shearing like crazy. And I've just gotten it cleaned out. But anyway, so the ram was so ginormous. Oh my God, and he kicked, oh my God, he kicked me so hard. I'm telling you, these animals, they are not for the faint of heart. You have to be really tough. You have to, and I'm not saying, I mean, today is so funny when I was getting the pallets. So there's this gal, she's Hispanic and she's big. She's a big girl. And so she's driving the forklift, and really nice gal. And yeah, probably, you know, 20 stuff. And I needed to move, you know, she had the forklift and she was about to grab something. And I said, oh, I'll just get this because I, you know, fancy myself as being fairly strong. And I go, like, literally, I couldn't even budget. Then she goes over there like it was like a feather. She's just like, boop. I was like, yeah, well, you're young. I just was like, oh, don't ever try to just show off because you're so strong. Because then you're not going to be able to do it. As you're grunting, and it's not even moving like one scintilla. Let's see. And then Madeline says, if you want out of California, come to Arkansas wine country. I've never even heard of Arkansas as being wine country. Spelling, please. Love documentary. Spelling, Netflix. The name of that documentary is called Karl Marx City. Karl Marx City. Watch it. The Stasi. You didn't know who was who. And then Linda said, I just have one horse to feed, but still, I'm still having a hard time. So not 200, so 200 bales for $1,000. I'm like really shocked. You must be, are you buying Timothy maybe? Is it like $24 or $27 a bale? Timothy has no nutritional value either, really. I mean, it, you know. Let's see. Amber says, I had some dregs too. Drawing on and forgot them. Oh my God, and you got live oak. She says I got live oak shit all over them. I hope they aren't ruined. Can it blow out? Can it blow out like with a blower? And then Madeline says I came home with 25 fleeces. I can barely walk through my laundry room. Oh, that's fun. I like that. Shannon said that's the yarn I'm using. I won from you the colors. Is it? I actually can't remember. And I want to show you one more. You guys are saying it's gorgeous, so of course I want to show you another one. Let's see. There's another one because all of these are really long. And then I did one that's not copper patina, but it's kind of like it. And I'm in love with this one too. And I don't even like green. I actually do not like green. But what I like about it, these locks, they're really nice. It's English Leicester, and these were show fleeces. Look at how long it is. So anyway, so these were show fleeces, and so they're partially cotted, but this one has like some like brown and like black and like gold on it, a little bit. Can you guys see it? I don't know if you can. The light has to be just right, but I love that it just has that. It's gorgeous. It's like grasshopper. It's like a khaki color, and then these parts in here. And then the green is just super rich and deep and foresty. Actually, I'm looking at this. That looks really not very lustrous, but it's super shiny. That's another one. And then I'm going to show you another one just because it's so cool. The animals grow this. It's amazing. They grow an inch a month. It's just so amazing. They never cease to amaze me. They're so lovely. And my animals, I've never had my animals as long fleeced as they are now. This one is amazing. These ones were really long too, but they like, what happens is these are like this is like the britch. So see how, it's okay. Do you see the rest of them? Here, I'm going to teach you something right now. So I don't want to pull these locks off them. So see how this lock, how the structure is, how curly it is. How curly, like it's curly, like C curls or S curls. See how this is a flat. Do you see how it's flat? And see how it's like kind of like, it's just kind of like this. Not like this, like that. Right? That's because it's on the britch. It's the britch. which it doesn't matter in the end because it's still really cool. And see, here is not the bridge, so it's the same sheet, but this is probably up towards, so this is probably up over the back, and this is on the bridge. So what's the bridge? This is the leg, so it's like the leg. So like right here is the bridge, and then the curly part is part right over like this. And so the bridge is, you know, not, it's usually a little bit hairy, and except on really ultra-fine merinos and really, really good sheep, but we don't selectively, we don't cull based on bridge because we don't have enough of what, you know, of these breeds. So, but anyway, and this is so shiny, and it's going to be sad because it's not going to look shiny. So this is another one. This is another big boa. So these locks, they're so, it's all from the same fleece, I'm pretty sure. And the colors, you guys, I'm telling you, they are like stupefyingly gorgeous. Anyway, so all of these are just part of the, and I have a bunch of the one in the green and the brown. I almost just fell on my, which would have been a change since I usually fall on my knees or on my ass, which I don't have a lot of cushion. Anyway, moving on. Moving on, moving on. Okay, I want to know, did anybody do anything on the knit along? Did anybody? Okay, I did. Think about it. Don't make me feel bad. I'm not kidding you guys. The hay thing, that was like 2 days of just nothing but work. And I didn't come, the guy's going through tomorrow. This is, no, the whole thing, you can't even tell you. It's so ridiculous how many calls, it is such a time suck. And I have to wire the money by bank, and that always makes me nervous. Because there's no, I did have a hay broker rip me off, no shit. But he insisted on hay, on a wire transfer, and I just said, there's just no way I can do that, I'm sorry. And he had a business like that was like registered and everything, and he took my money, and PayPal gave it back to me, and he never ever called us again. $3,500. He wanted to do it, a $10,000 one, but I didn't have it. I didn't have $10,000 cash. Thank God. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm binding off my swatch. Okay, I'm going to do it. You're working on yours yet. Do you like how I can't even look you guys in the eyes? Ramen noodles versus ringlets. Very good. I had to think about that. I'm reading. Almost done my... Okay, I'm so glad you're going to finish your hat. Hi, Vienne. You had barn work, ugh. Oh, I know, but you know what? It's a labor of love. Oh, she sent me a notice? She probably did. I'm sorry. I have not looked... I have right now, I think, like, I don't know, like 20... you know, in your messenger or message PMs, there's 20 messages. So... I don't open them. When I'm like slammed, I don't open them because I know you guys know what this is. It's like a rabbit hole. Like okay, some people could think, okay, you could just open your messages and just like read them. But once you've read them, if you have to answer them, because if you don't, you're not going to, you're going to forget. Like I had somebody write me that is a friend who I love. I don't know when I was so freaked out that it was so far down. I was writing her about something. I was going to ask her a question about hay because her husband is a hay. He trucks, right? He's a trucker, and he hauls hay, and they know a lot about hay and a lot of hay grows. And so I was trying to get in touch with her, and I looked, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, he left me." She has 3 kids. He left me. He was having an affair. I was like, "Oh my!" And I don't even know when it was. Right? I was like, oh my God, and I still haven't, and so that was like 4 days ago, and I haven't opened it to see what she said because it'll be down the rabbit hole. So I literally, like when I have to lock down and get shit done, I lock down. Like the only people that, you know, if they're, because I figure if you have to go over to Facebook. Hang on. Did it just let me do it? Oh, it just let me. Never mind. Never mind. That never happens. Refresh. It's back. It never happens like where I can't get back on if it drops. It's just technology. Oh my God, you guys. So I had people, okay, so there's these Airbnb people here. Oh, you guys, I forgot. My most important thing. I forgot because I had so much to talk about. I was bitching so much. I forgot to tell you. It's Yarnitarian. All things life, yarn, knitting, and fiber while high on flamin' hot Cheetos and cheap American beer. 2 of them tonight. Anyway, moving on. So the Airbnb people, she books it. She says they've each got a 2-year-old. It's 2 ladies, each got a 2-year-old. And the one studio that they booked, and she talked with me before booking it, and I said, that's not the right cottage for you because it has a loft that when the child falls, they're not allowed up there. But if it goes up there against my telling you and then falls, it's hitting basically a concrete floor, right? And she's like, oh, well, then just make, she's like, oh, okay, well, we'll work it out. So I just figured what they were going to mean is that they're putting the 2 toddlers and letting them sleep downstairs or down, below, and that they're going to sleep up in the loft. So it's getting closer and closer and closer. So but then she sends me the night before, which is last night, she sends me a message saying, oh, by the way, make the bed below because we won't be sleeping in the loft. And I'm like, I'm already making the bed below. So I'm like, what does she want me to do? Make another bed? Because there's no way it's a studio, right? With a loft. There's no way it's going to fit, right? So then I explained, so that I said, no, luckily the other studio was open, the other cottage was open, and it has a queen bed, and I can put another bed in it. So, and it's just 1 story. So I said, no, I think you made a mistake here, but luckily the other cottage happens to be open, and I explained it, and I don't know, she did not, I had to literally call her and explain, like, literally, I had already written it down, and I was like, when you've run out of ways to explain something, I ran out of ways to explain it. But anyway, she took my advice, and they're here. And it's so funny because, 2-year-olds, they have the 2-2-year-olds, and they want the 2-2-year-olds to interact. And, 2-year-olds, that's not their place in development. Like, they're not very social towards, and like the animals, they're not interested in the animals. What they were interested in was when the sprinklers went off. I was like, well, you could have just saved your money and stayed home and turned your sprinkler on. They could have cared less. Oh, they did get to see a goose die, though. It was great. So I saw this goose, and, it had, like, but it's old. It was like, I don't know. I'm going to say it's like 8 years old or 9 years old. And that's pretty old for a goose. You're like, yeah, because they usually get cooked like under a year, I think. But anyhow, so, and when we went in there, because they were feeding the bottle lambs, I said, oh, by the way, I said, oh, there's a goose that's not moving. I mean, it's not dead yet, but it just didn't get up. And anybody who knows livestock, if they don't get up when you walk in, they're sick. So anyway, and then I looked at it and I could see that it had, like, it was drooling. I don't know what would it be called if it's a goose drooling. I mean, is it drool, whatever. So I went and got Jennison, and you usually know that they're not going to make it. They're not. And so I gave it a little bit of Jennison. And then I was like, I said to Connery, I said, oh my gosh, there was a goose there. Like, maybe he feels better. And I was like, that's weird, because that never happens. Then when I went in the house, Sean goes, oh yeah, the people told me the goose was dead, so I removed it. I was like, okay, so I was right. I like to be right. It doesn't happen often. Especially with my packages. Especially when I'm sending someone something. Oh, you guys, I got my boots. I got the Python boots. Let's see. Ms. Dahlia notes we're back. Okay. And then, Samantha says, all good. Pam says, all good. Ms. Bam Ammond. Thank God. Corny rhyming friends. I like corny rhyming friends. I mean, I just, at this point, just like friends. I'm just happy to have them. I really am. Okay, so what should we talk about? Let's talk about, have you ever heard that song, that country western song that says, let's talk about me? Let's talk about me. Let's talk about let's talk about me and my, I don't know. You guys are like, if she starts singing, I'm hanging up, because then it's going to be really bad. I really want to show you some of this fleece, but I don't know. I don't think it's in here because it was so heavy. I couldn't believe it wasn't ruined, you guys. It should have been a felted mess. And it wasn't. And this ram was just... He actually, okay, his neck, and I'm not lying, is like this big around. And their necks are so strong because they want, their whole thing is about hitting, right? It's like, I think it's like akin to, I don't know, chest bumping or whatever it's called, guys, after they're drunk, I think it makes them high. I always say that. Makes them high. But anyway, and you have to turn their head. You have to, for me to lay them down, they're standing like this in front of me with their head here and their butt here. And I have to be able to, and this is my bat, by the way, this arm had surgery. This arm is deformed. It's 5 inches shorter. It's got scars all over it, a metal plate and pins in it. And I had shoulder surgery on it and I had my daughter take out stitches. I never went back. So So and that was like 3 years ago. So it's never had proper like, and it didn't work very well anyway. But this is the one that has to do it. This one holds the hips so they don't move out. You have to take its head. I have to bend its neck around its head down and shove down. That's how you lay him down. Yeah, that took a couple times. It took a couple times. Yeah, it's like this long. Which under a jacket is like impossible. Usually they get really felted. And see, it's like all creamy. It's all creamy. It's really, and it doesn't smell like a ram either. It does not smell like a ram. So, and he's like, I want to say he's like 3 or 4 maybe. I don't know. Really nice ram. Really nice. But like, it's funny to watch me to try to lay him down because like I'll hold him and I'll like, you know, you kind of like jiggle their head a little bit so they don't get, because they know, because he's been short enough, he knows. I go like this, and then I go like this, and I push my knee into his shoulder, and then and then he just like literally like takes his head and flips like I'm like a fly. And then we just go around in a circle, and then I'm like, okay, and I have to position him back in the same, because the shears, because I have to get him exactly, because my shears are, it's solid down tube, so I don't have any play. I have to be in exactly this one position to start. Was it 3 or 4? It might have taken 4. And then one of the things that helps you is that the platform is a little slippery for them, not for me, but for them, because they've got hooves, right? And so that kind of, they can, I mean, they can turf me. They do. I get turfed at least once every 10 animals. I get turfed for sure. But I'll tell you, before I let go, they'd have to almost kill me before I let go. Like, I will make them drag me because there's fleece. I don't want their fleece ruined. So I just hold on for dear life and pull as hard as I can. And it's actually, I mean, I would have to think it would be quite funny to be watching, because I'm sure people would be like, why didn't you just let it go? And then, of course, the dogs get involved. Like, that's always fun, because then it's really a rodeo. Because then, oh my God, you guys, then it's also PETA time when the dogs get involved. Because the dogs see their alpha on the ground, and their whole, life is about bringing the sheep, their gatherers, to alpha. So if alpha is about to lose the prey, oh, they're on that right away, straight away. There could be blood involved. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes mine. Mike O'Brien, hello, with the cleanest dog I've ever seen. Oh, so cute. No, and then oh well, Allison. Okay, so Allison Blair is saying, I need to cast on, but I can't decide how many to cast on since my gauge is so off. So Allison, you don't decide. You don't just arbitrarily decide. There's a calculation. So you need to. Could somebody do this? Well, Allison, what is your gauge? You need to tell someone. You need to tell us in here, and someone should be able to do the math for you. So you can. There's things that you can do. Is your gauge off? Hopefully not too tight. Because you can go down needle sizes. That's one way. I mean, that's the way, right? 2, okay. And then Allison says she loves the sheepy smell. Blech. And then Vivian says, it's crazy, I've come to love, she loves the smell of sheep. No, not into it. No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not. No, you guys, and I'm not that. My arms, my biceps, you guys are like, they are so incredibly skinny. They have muscle, but they're really skinny. And I'm not actually that strong. It's really, I say in some things I guess I'm strong. It's like, but it's finesse. It's all finesse, because there's no way. Men can muscle it, but girl, I mean, I can't. They outweigh me by double. I mean, even the yearling girls weighs at least as much as I do. And then, I mean, those Corriedales, like, what I've really noticed about the breeds, I've really noticed in my heat, it has something to do with it. Probably not the Corrie so much, because they're more of a desert sheep, but or can handle the desert because of the merino, certainly. But is that by the time they're 4, it seems like they mature. It's amazing the size difference from my 2-year-olds to my 4-year-olds. I mean, my 4-year-olds, like, they're huge. These sheep are massively large, and I have some Corriedales. I swear they're topping like 250. Ewes 250, 260. I have several many Wensleydale and Teeswater ewes that top that. And you know that if they're that big, they're probably 4 to 6 years old. I mean, I don't think I have any that are under 4 that are that big. The ones that are under 4, I would say, are coming in around 180, somewhere in there. And then like now, I mean, food is love. I like to see. It's not good for sheep to be fat. But when they're nursing or they're pregnant, you don't want to feed them too much when they're pregnant. This is really crazy. That we can be a human being, we can eat a ton, and our baby, yeah, if we have gestational diabetes or something, then our babies can be abnormally large. Okay, or I had my first baby was 10 pounds 2 ounces, and I was stick thin. But or you can just have big babies, right? In sheep, if you feed them too much in the last trimester, you can make the babies so big that they have dystocia. So, like, there's this fine line between giving, and plus, it has to do, okay, I'm going to teach something right now. The way that they're fed during that last part of pregnancy and the first month of the lamb or kid's life is going to determine to a large extent the follicles, the secondary follicles that they have, and the secondary follicles are what we want. That's what we want. So if they're starved, the mothers are starved, and the babies are starved, that they won't have as many. Their fleeces won't be as dense. And then some breeds aren't dense anyway. But I'm just saying, to bring them to their genetic potential, it's the last part of the pregnancy of the mother, how much nutrition she has, and how much nutrition the baby's getting through her, right? And then the first, like, I want to say, I can't remember what it is. I think I want to say it's 90 days of life. It might be, it's somewhere in there. And so, like, that's really crucial. But then, and then of course for the first 6 weeks, you want to be able to feed them up, because you want them to give that nutrition to the baby. You want them to be able to transfer that nutrition to the babies in their milk. But because we don't cull, meaning fleece breeders, we don't cull typically on anything but bad fleece. We're not looking at like rate of gain of the babies, right? So, and how good of a mother, as far as her milking ability and how much she's able to give to her babies. And that's something in meat breeds that we really care about, is how big those babies and how fast they're growing, because their whole point is they're terminal. So they want them to be able to be eaten, right? They want them to be, a good enough size, and to be able to get them off the mother, and a good enough size to market, so they're not continuing to feed them. And we just don't care about that. So if in animal science, if you were to you had a meat production operation, and you looked in a pasture and saw that you had this giant fat ewe and this little skinny baby, she'd be done. That's the last time she's going to have a baby. She's going to be on someone's, in someone's cook pot. But, we don't do that. So I have ewes that are just absolutely freaking, and their babies are like, their babies are like really tiny and just scrawny. And then these ewes are like, some of them are 300 pounds. And those are the ones that I just take the babies off as soon as possible, because they're way better off being creep fed and having, hay than having a fat mother eating all of my hay that I'm paying, I'm going to be paying a fortune for. Well, I guess it's not, but it's still more than I'm used to. You guys are like, so boring. We just hate it. I'm so sorry. I would talk about sex, but this isn't what I'm supposed to be talking about, and everybody's going to get embarrassed. My husband's going to be like, stop. Well, just come do it. Talk about it. Whatever. You guys are like, let me read. Okay. And then Shannon says, the reason I picked churros is because you're 5 foot. I like churro fleeces. We'll use ropes for alpacas and llamas. I've used ropes before. Tamara Rooney. Tamara Rooney. Hi, Tamara Rooney. I love Tamara, you guys. Tamara is the one that helped me. She came here and she did one of these VIP retreats, which I loved. And this is how I really met her. And she ended up, she's the person that really was instrumental in helping me get the 501c3, the charity, in which, she's the secretary and the treasurer at the moment. Poor thing. She's doing a lot. And so, and helping me get, so pretty soon I'm going to be doing the lamb. I'm going to be doing like the lamb, so it's for the feed bill, obviously, but doing, and this goes along with the education that's the other reason why I don't want to leave California too. I feel like California I just never shut up about promoting agriculture. I just don't. I mean, every time somebody comes here for Airbnb, if they start talking to me, you guys think you're the only ones that have to hear it? Oh, they have to hear it. And then I just tell them what a wonder wool is and how important fiber arts are. I just never can stop, because like these people are coming here to me. I don't have to go do cold calls. And it's really true. You do change people's mind. I can't even, if you look, you can go and read my reviews on Airbnb, and people are like so stupefied by farming in a good, they're just people that they say the coolest things because they didn't realize, they didn't know, and they love being able to touch, the land. you know how when you buy food in a grocery store, how people don't know where it comes from? They start making connections. And those connections are integral into like agriculture, into preserving agriculture, into letting people know how important it is. And that's what I do. I just say, and of course I bitch, moan, and complain about California at the same time, which they usually do too, right? Especially because most of them are native Californians that come here, but from the cities, you know. And there's so many people, or if they come from the Midwest, the reason why they came is because they grew up usually on a farm and that they haven't been back. Like they haven't been back, and it just reminds them of their childhood. And that's one thing that I really believe is that no matter how crappy your childhood was, for some reason, you always want to go home. Not like literally have like the chaos, but there's something familiar, like the sound of peacocks I used to hear when I was a little girl. And there's so many things that even though my childhood was horrible, I mean, it was really bad. But I find myself gravitating, like I've talked about it before, to the colors and the textures and the of my childhood, even though my childhood was not good. It's very interesting, isn't it? You're like, not really. What would be interesting if you would talk about something interesting? Okay, that's pressure. That's what's pressures. That's pressure, you guys. Anyway. Okay, let's see. Come text, we love you. You know, so awesome. I can never stop. People can't get away. You're like, we know. We have to hear it too. So the thing is too, is like, so I've been really, it's not just the water problem that they take our water, right? California. And it's not that we don't have, there is water, believe it or not. But they don't want agriculture to have it. They want golf. Well, I guess it's a golf course out. No, it's not agriculture. You're like, shut up. But I guess, you know, the wineries, they get it, and so that's good. But like the hay, they call it now the Dust Bowl. The I-5 is the Dust Bowl. They took all of the water away from all of the agriculture there. It just breaks my heart. It does break my heart. And I just want people, and you know what? Oh my God, I took pictures. You guys would laugh if you're in the Midwest or if you're in New York or anywhere where there's a lot of farming, because I was driving through Paris. I was trying to get to the dentist. Again, you guys, don't let your teeth go bad anymore, because I'm going to tell you something. This crown is like my 8th dentist appointment. Before it used to be quick and dirty. They do the root canal and they slam a temporary on it. And you go back and you get the, no, this is not how this works. Now, this last time I went, I was there. So now I'm going into this will be my 8th hour. The next time I go, my 8th hour. And so the last time they took the temporary off and started building up with a peg or something, because there's not enough tooth there, and then putting another temporary on it, and then they'll take the impression the next time I'm there of the crown, and then I'll have a temporary, I guess, and then this is unbelievable. But anyway, I was driving there to San Jacinto, and there's still like remnants of farming. Like you can see, like there's hay. I mean, it really, I took pictures of it, and then I felt so, like, it was just, it's like, you're so weird. You're taking pictures of people's like tractors and barns and stuff. Not that we don't have a tractor, but we don't have an old barn like one of the, you would see like, I don't know, in Missouri, something like that, or New York, Pennsylvania, Montana. I mean, there's like everywhere basically but California, right? It was so cool to see that, and to see all the farm implements, so someone said, I mean, they're still growing hay here, but they're just, you know, charging, and I don't think, we can't grow alfalfa here. We grow usually like 4-way or like oat, something like that, wheat, barley, because there's, you know, we're so dry and hot. And then there's a certain comfort in familiar things. Yes. Batch Ray says there is. And you know where I was thinking though, where I really thought I would like, I heard that there's a part of Texas that's very California-like. Okay, not like, I'm talking about just that it has that feeling of like, it's a moderate, you know, it's moderate temperature-wise. It doesn't have big highs and big lows. Like, I don't like big temperature swings. I'm not a big snow person. I'm really not. And I like it warm. I do like it warm. And I think, but I don't like bugs. I don't like bugs. So then I was worried about the humidity. But I think there was someone was saying something. There's plains or something, Plains, and between New Mexico, maybe like New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma area. You guys are like, she doesn't even know her states. You guys, I couldn't find Ohio on the map. I was like, well, maybe I get hate from Ohio. I was like, where is Ohio anyway? When was the last time you guys filled in a map? You should try it sometime. No, seriously, if you haven't done it in a while. I found out that New England, I didn't know what New England was. People, I mean, I've been explained now like 4 or 5 times, and I think Maine's in it. That's what I do know. I think Maine is in it, but because New England, I was like, is New England like a province? Like, I didn't know what New England was because I'm a Californian, so we just don't know those things. Isn't it fun? I don't know, and I don't think there's a lot of fiber people that are in California, and if they are, they must not like me. I think there's like, I think I have like 2, 3 followers that I know of that are Californians, but there's not many. I don't know. Isn't that interesting? I think it's interesting. And then Amber says she hates snow. Well, I have like skis and everything, and I should do it, but I don't know. Wait, I missed the website you used for hay. Can you repeat? Okay, Diana, it's called Hay Maps. Hay Maps, and there's another one called Hay Exchange. Hay Exchange and Hay Maps. But I find Craigslist the best. I'm not kidding you. Craigslist, that's where and finally in the end I found, I'm not even saying that I mean, who knows, my hay might not be amazing, but it's 50% orchard, and 50% alfalfa, and it's not irrigated, which I've learned a lot about hay. Hay in Montana, okay, this is going to bore the shit out of people now. You guys are just going to be like, okay, now I'm really bored. In California, first cutting hay and second cutting alfalfa is what you want. In Montana dryland, you don't want first cutting because it's stemmy. So, and also the grass, there's grasses there that have a really high protein, not orchard, and you don't want them irrigated. You don't want the pastures irrigated. There's so much stuff that it's so crazy how different, because like when they were saying that at first, when people had first cutting, I was like, oh my God, that's so exciting. They're like, that's like feeder hay. It's like, we don't even have that term feeder hay. And they're like, it's just like, you just feed it to them and just so they have some, cellulose fiber. It doesn't really have any nutrient quality, and orchard doesn't have a lot of nutrient quality, but I'm taking it because I'm feeding corn. So I'm taking it because it's going to have alfalfa, and it's third cutting, which is really, really good. And they did a whole analysis on it, and it's like 20% protein total. So it'll be good for my sheep. It'll be fine for my sheep. But usually, because I had a friend bring some orchard grass, and orchard grass for horses is expensive. It's like 20 something a bale. And but I had like big bales of this orchard grass. My sheep could not eat enough to get to even sustain life. Like the rumen could not hold enough to put enough calories in them that they weren't completely emaciated. Yeah, it was bad. And ruminants are really feed efficient. It's just that our breeds, Wensleydales and Teeswaters are not feed efficient. The Corriedales are feed efficient. So and also Angora goats are not feed efficient. So Angora goats, Teeswaters, and Wensleydales are all very feed inefficient. And they're like little racehorses. They eat like little racehorses. Their metabolisms are like little hummingbirds. Yep, it's crazy. It is crazy. Like, I could have picked a breed that was and the people came, the Muslims came, and I'm telling you, they said they haven't been out since the last time they were here, and that this is like their fun. You guys, these people are they really are the nicest people, and it's the little, so I had a picture and it didn't come out. The little kid, don't get grossed out, you guys, was walking around with a goat's head with the horns like it was a bicycle. I'm serious. He's 2 years old in diapers. He's going like this with the little. This is like, because they're minimalists. They don't have a chair. They don't even have one chair in their house. Like they don't believe in immaterial items. So these kids, like, their idea of playing is like, and I'm not lying. He has a knife in his hand. This 2-year-old. He puts that down, picks up a knife. And they teach him, like, at this age, and they give him like legs or whatever, and they tell him that they have him take his little knife and try and like hit right in the joint. It's nuts. And they're like 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds are all doing all of the cutting, and it's really crazy. My kids are so, they actually were afraid. They're afraid, and they've seen them. They've been seeing them for like years now. But when they're here, they won't come out because they're very fearful. They don't understand. My children don't understand, even though they've grown up on a farm. They don't understand children with giant knives, like hacking at animals. They just, and I don't understand. I actually don't understand why my kids don't understand it, because they've seen me. If something's died and it's isn't full of antibiotics, I'll usually don't get grossed out. But what I'll do is I'll take off the main parts, like the legs. And I'll give them to the dogs, and then the rest will, it will be gone. I mean, I'm not, because I don't eat lamb, first of all, and I wouldn't eat something that was, but I just is just using some of it, at least some of it, you know. So it's not like they haven't seen it before, but there's something about, I think it's confusing for them because it's so outside of our culture. And my children, they're not they're not fearful kids. It actually is an interesting thing. I've never really, didn't give it much thought until just this very moment, that why they would be afraid, like they don't want to go out there. Maybe somebody has an idea, because I don't know, it's interesting. But anyway, they're just such nice people to me. They treat me just with the utmost respect. Here you go. Listen to this one. So another guy that goes to his mosque, because I said he's the imam of 7 mosques. And he, and they treat, like, they wash his feet. I mean, they treat him, and he is so kind to me. He's just like, sit down, and he just visits with me. He just taught, like, I actually need to work, and I'll be like, okay, I have to go. And he's like, no, sit with me, visit with me. And he's like 75 years old. Anyway, so one of the I want to call it a parishioner, because I don't know what you would call it in Islam. So, called that same day and wanted to come. And he came, but he ended up coming the next day. And I usually won't sell sheep to anybody but Ibrahim. And so this guy, Muhammad, I let him come, and there were a couple of, like, they just weren't super great sheep. You know, they're like yearlings, and they weren't super growthy, but I sold him these sheep. And anyway, he was they were really inexpensive. So he owed me $470. This is crazy. So I'm exhausted. It's the end of the day. I've been shearing. I'm so tired. It's like 2 days ago. And he counts it out to me, and I just go, yeah, that's right. And so then he goes, okay. And he's tired too, because it's the first time he's ever slaughtered anything. He's slaughtered 3 of them. And so I go back in the house, like, you know, an hour and a half later, and I have a beer, and I took the money out of my pocket to give to Sean, to ask him to put it in my account, and I count it, and it's $100 short. And I knew there is no way I'm getting this. There's no way. He counted it right in front of me, and I said, okay, right? I mean, there's no way you're getting that money back. I'm sorry. Right? So, but I go into a blind panic, right? And I text him, and I said, hey, Muhammad, you know what? I just realized you gave me $370. I'm just going to see. And I may lose the $100. I'm not going to be happy about it. My fault. And he goes, oh, you're right. I was so tired. And he said, I'll put it in your bank account tomorrow. And he did. I got to be honest with you. That doesn't happen very often. That kind of stuff doesn't. I'm saying, I don't care what. I mean, it's like, that was so nice, because he could have easily just said, I counted it right in front of you, and I really expected that that's what he was going to do. And he's like, Allah's watching. Yeah. And then Miss Shelley saying, maybe it's just odd seeing children do it, maybe. And it, what is, Lower Iowa should go north in Iowa. Wait, what do you guys, I'm sorry, I'm reading. We have had hay on our fields the past 3 years. Such a challenging process. And then Linda's saying it needs to stop snowing. I'm sorry. Okay, and then hay is important to fiber. I'm reading backwards, you guys. Obviously. Oh, you got cyclone bomb storm. And then Susan Copa says, I love hearing about hay. Always worry about hay for my horses. Agree. Everybody's hating snow right now. I think you guys are done with it. Anyway, yeah, so I just thought that was such an interesting story, and I don't know why. So like, I told him about my hay woes, right? I told Abraham about my hay woes, and he goes, he says, I just love. He goes, we will pray for you, but you know, when you get your hay, it won't be us that did it, because everything is. It's such a fascinating culture, one that I didn't appreciate at all before. All I had was, you know, that what I didn't, not, you know, because of terrorism, and I don't feel that way at all about, you know, people are people, and you don't judge people by who they are as individuals, and that's really, you know, I think the standard that we all have to live by, and it's very it is hard at times, it is hard, and but I just love these people. They're so good. I actually enjoy them coming. I do have to be honest with you though. It does freak me out, because there's always Airbnb people here, and they don't know what Airbnb is. So Abraham and their whole family, I'm like, okay, you guys, I'm just going to tell you, there's Airbnb people here. So I guess, you know, what in parentheses it means is, please don't defecate, like, behind the barn, or like, you know, I don't know, have your kids running around with goat heads, like, past this area, right? And then, like, I've been telling them this for you know, like, since I've had Airbnb, so since August. And so then, yes, the other day, they're like, so, what is Airbnb? This is so funny. No, it's awesome. Because obviously they don't, how could you possibly care if you don't know what it is, right? It was really funny. You're like, not really. It was a stupid thing. I don't know. You know what's stupid is paying extra on your PG&E and SoCal bill for carbon, what is it again? Carbon credit. When it's not a credit, it's called carbon fee. It's called, I don't know. Like, do they not make, it's privatized. Do they not make enough money? I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure they do. Bastards. And it's very regressive, right? It's very regressive because everybody has to pay it. There's no way of getting out of it. So everybody's hurt by it. You know? I guess it's better that everybody's hurt by it, right? Because I also don't believe, I think those things should be voluntary. I really do. Pitch your case to the American people if you really think that carbon credits should be purchased, and then if people want to purchase them, then they can purchase them. And then VN says, we have a big storm coming, 20 inches. Holy mackerel. You guys are really, I don't even know what that would be like, you guys. I only remember, like when I lived in Hong Kong, we would have the typhoon season. And so I remember then, but I never really, I lived, Hong Kong is an island. So, you just tape the windows, and we didn't have to do it because I lived in it's like a high rise. So they would come by and tape all your windows. And that's it. The giant plate glass windows, though, that overlooked, I want to say I probably lived on the maybe 12th to 20th floor. And it's right on the bay, Calvin Bay. It's so amazing. It was so amazing. Like, that was, I have to say, the only thing I hated about it was that the smell of it's very humid because it's very humid. And the human waste all goes into the ocean, so it doesn't smell very good at all. Like when you fly into Kai Tak Airport, oh my God, it smelled like the smell. You just will never forget the smell. The second, how when the airplane turns off, you can smell. Like, that is like a killer. And then I used to go to Macau on the hovercraft all the time because I'd have to get that's the only way to get your visa renewed if I didn't have a job, if they weren't sending me outside of the country, because I want to say it was a 90-day tourist visa. That's what I had for 4 years. But usually I'd have a job somewhere, but if I didn't, I'd have to just take the hovercraft over to Macau, which is a big gambling. It was actually really interesting, the whole thing. But it feels like, I'm sure that people, not millennials, you guys will one day, but it feels like it's someone else's life, when you've lived, because a lot of us, I don't know, just think even about your first boyfriend, unless you married him, it feels like someone else, that was somebody else. And then Michelle is saying she has friends in Thailand. The pictures they show are beautiful. Thailand is amazing. I hear Peacock Tamara says, yes. There are, Tamara, since you were here, they've procreated. There are so many, you guys, I can't even tell you how, I keep saying that. There are so many peacocks. And it does occur to me because, well, it does say on the Airbnb stuff that there are animal sounds. But, I don't want to get ridiculous and say, like, roosters at 2 in the morning, and I have, like, 30 of them or more. I have 10 less because, you guys, I got an order for laying hens, and every one of them but 2 were roosters. 2. I know. Anyway, but so those ones, though, I gave to Ibrahim for free because you can't give him a leghorn. Like, they're like this wide. Like, white leghorns, they're really, really narrow chickens. It's not like the big, beefy, Cornish crosses or something. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to, like, I think animal sounds suffices, right? Just, if you start saying, 20 roosters, 35 peacocks crowing and, screaming, screeching, because some people I don't think appreciate it. Like, that's what earplugs and alcohol is for. Or maybe just alcohol. It depends. Like, pick your poison, baby. Pick your poison. Okay, let's see what else. Tamara Rooney, too many cocks. You can never have too many cocks. Right? And then I ordered chickens through, that one was Purely Poultry, I think, or Ideal Poultry. One of those. Purely or Ideal. I always get them confused. But yeah, but they're replacing them. They're replacing them, let me tell you. Because at first they didn't believe me, and I'm like, okay, I'm a poultry 4-H leader, and like, I know what I'm talking about. And I knew you know, because leghorns have a big comb. The girls have a pretty big comb, comparably to most hens, right? And so, but I knew before they were mature, because you can see, it's not just, it's like usually the combs on the roos are a lot redder, right? So you can see, but also you can really see the saddle feathers starting to emerge really early. And there's also other ways of telling chickens. You start noticing, it sounds nuts, but even as like a 3 or 4 day old chick, you can start seeing the they're faster maturers. You can almost see the masculine eyes. It's nuts. You really can. The more chickens you raise, the more acute you are about figuring out who's a roo. So I'll go to the day old chicks, you know, even at like Dan's, and I'll be able to, usually if it's day old, I won't be able to, but like, you know, they've been in there a couple days, and I'll always, usually when I buy there, because they're like $2, so it's actually almost cheaper to buy them from there, except we aren't, you guys, allowed to have chickens in my county still, so you can't buy any chicks. So anyway, but I will go there and, you know, go and pick, you know, what, I don't know, 20, 25 hens, and then, you know, try and get at least one roo, and I'm always right. I mean, I am always right. You're like, of course you are. You're Natalie. No, I'm always right about my chickens, because you just are when you've raised. I mean, I used to hatch thousands of eggs a year. Which for some people it probably isn't a lot, but I had a really great chicken business. It's just a pain in the ass, because there's a lot of, because this is why. Here's why. Because out of the amount of eggs that you hatch, you know, you're going to only have X amount aren't going to actually hatch, literally, or and then once they do hatch, like let's say you have 100 eggs. Let's say, okay, so 90, let's make it easy, 95 hatch. And out of those 95, you know, you're going to have half of those are going to be roosters, right? Theoretically. And then, no matter what, you're going to have probably, by the time they're raised to adulthood, you're going to have at least from those maybe 20% loss. So you're down to, so 95. 85, 75, so you're down to 75, then half of those are going to be the hens, and then you're going to have to get rid of the roos. And so, like, look at how many chickens you have left. And you started with 100 eggs. So, it's like, it's really irritating. And then, you know, if you get any sort of predation, I'm just talking about from the 20%, or you're going to lose just to something. Like, you know, you go in there and the chicks are just dead. Sometimes they, you know, drown in their water, or they get, you know, crusty or pasty butt, or, I mean, there's just stuff that happens. You're like, wow. Natalie, it's really uplifting. Or your husband puts the light near the waterer, like on Sheer Madness. Someone asked me if we did that, stage that, and I was like, I would never stage somebody trying to kill all of my chicks. Ever. Ever. Like, you become, chickens, well, actually, Tamara Rooney has a disabled chicken. I'm not kidding. And she, like, loves it. She loves this chicken. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if it lives in her house, but I'm pretty sure it sleeps with her. I'm kidding. But she does let it in the house. Jan. What is Jan? I hope that Max was part of that soup. Oh, the rooster attacked her. No, that rooster is still here. This is what Connery does. Okay, you guys. So she knows Max. I wish that rooster would have died. That rooster's like 7 years old. He is a bastard. He has a buttercup comb. So, okay, so a single comb, you should have 5 points on it. Okay, you guys are like, here she goes again. It should have, okay. Anyway, a buttercup has like, it's got, you could like, it's like a cup, and it's got these little sprigs on the outside. Look up these. They're crazy. Anyway, I don't know where he got this buttercup comb. Anyway, he has this comb. And he is the meanest cur, and he's only mean when you bend down, and then he attacks your head, which is awesome. And then, or he is a coyote. He's like a total coyote motherfucker. He'll like bite you. He like attacks you. You turn your back, and all of a sudden you have him on the back of your head or on the back of your legs, and it like shocks you because you got your headphones on and you're like you know, getting down with what, like 50 Cent, right? Something like that, or like, what is it? I don't know. Taylor Swift. And anyhow, I'm not kidding you. My son goes up and grabs him. He's calling him Bob or William. I think he calls him Bob or William. I don't know. And he takes that rooster and he hugs him. But not mean at all. And he carries him around under his arm, and the chicken can't move. Connery. Connery's, you know, he's a strong kid. He takes this and he just like pets him and he just talks to him and he'll like go around and like water or do whatever he has to do with this rooster, as that's the rooster's punishment. And that rooster won't attack him. And you know what he says? He goes, I'm just tiring him out mentally. I'm like, I would like to tire him out physically, so physically that he's dead. I'm serious. This rooster, the 2 roosters that died got in a fight with him. He killed them. And there's spurs on these suckers. Okay, you're like, let's not get ridiculous. No, the spurs, I'm not lying because they're old roosters. They're like this, and I'm not kidding you. They're huge. They're massive. It's unbelievable how big these spurs are. Okay, now you're going to make me have to kill him just to cut one off and show you. Or Connery can just, it's like a clutch purse. I was talking to him and being nice, and I turned my back, and he was on my back, bastard. He was. He did attack her. Fully. Hi, Mary Caldwell. And then Bat Ray saying, I'm good. Chickens are interesting. They are kind of interesting. But I think it is really cool, though, that you can tell that once you attach so many eggs, you can actually sex your own chickens. Which I should do that artificial insemination for you guys in ejaculating a chicken. I mean, that's something that you can really use, right? Right? Well, you can if you raise Cornish crosses. You can totally use it since they can't breed naturally. So yesterday I ordered because both my orders, remember, came dead, right? So all my turkeys came dead and all my guinea hens, but 2 came dead. And so I ordered them, but see, the shipping, you can ship to Huntington Beach as far as I know. I did get a call, made me a little nervous from, this time I ordered from Cackle Hatchery because they won't send from Ideal or Purely Poultry to any place above Fresno. Above, with that, is that above or below? Above Fresno, and I don't want to drive 6 hours to go get or 5 hours to go get my chicks. So, because I could just send them like general delivery. That's what I was thinking, and just go pick them up. But anyway, but I think Huntington Beach. So Huntington Beach, they let me order. So, and they took my money. So I'm guessing Huntington Beach was okay because my girlfriend lived there, Jenny. I think so. I ordered like 30 turkeys and 20 guinea hens and like 25 Cornish crosses because the Eid al-Adha is coming up. And it's a big slaughtering. It's a big slaughtering festival, and you want to have a lot of things to slaughter because that's going to help pay my feed bill. You guys are like, it's so bad and mean. It's not. You have to. When my roosters, I think these are all feathers. When my rooster, oh, you want to see something pretty? So when they die, when they go to the place in the sky, I pull them. I pull all the saddle feathers off. The saddle feathers, all of them, and then I pull. I've got some long ones here, yeah. Saddle ones. They're a little bent from being in here, but you guys are like, it's so stupid what she's showing us. No, it's not, you guys, because you could put it in yarn. For goodness sakes. Yeah. Anyway, and and don't forget, you guys, I had the guy. I mean, people call me for the weirdest thing. So I didn't tell you this. So it was the last moment. I got a call from someone that says, "Hey, we're doing a music video, and we wanted to do this like shepherd scene, like it was sheep, like herding sheep or something like that." And this is on Sunday morning, and at like 9 in the morning. And they're like, and the other place we went there, and she changed her mind. She didn't want us there. And they're like, and we're all ready to film. Can you please let us come to your place? So I was like, yeah, you can come to my place. So, because I didn't have anything else going on, right? But anyway, I don't know. I felt sorry for them. They turned out they're like apparently are very well known. So well known, I don't know their name. But it's a Christian reggae group. And so, but they travel all over Africa and everything. Anyway, so they wanted to do like this shepherd scene. This is my favorite part. Is the guy that they have is Jesus, and he actually looked. I mean, he did and he was a good looking kid, 20 years old, something. They hired like an actor kid, dark skin. You know, very Sephardic looking. He was Iranian Persian. And they have him fully in this Jesus outfit with like the sandals and everything. And he used my shepherd's crook, naturally. I mean, because you got to have a shepherd's crook, right? And he looks at me, this Sephardic looking kid, and he goes, you know, they should have hired a white guy. And I was like, why would they hire a white guy? And he goes, well, because Jesus was white. And I was like, I hate to tell you that actually you're perfect. And he's like, no. I was like, yeah, you are. I thought it was really funny. Isn't that funny? Okay, so that was the calls I get. Anyway, and then they did pay me. And to be honest with you, I wasn't going to make them pay me, even though I had to teach. I have this one flock of sheep. They wanted them in. I had to change pastures of these sheep, but before I changed them, they're younger. I had to make sure that they would all follow me to go to the next pen. Like, so I had to train the sheep. Like, that took like an hour with the dogs to make sure that they, no matter where I went, otherwise it was going to be a rodeo, and I'd have goats going this way and sheep going this way, and etc. And then I had to make them stick to him, cling to him, and I had to make sure that the dogs would work for him. Like, I had to work with the dogs with him, and then keep the dogs from bringing them to me when I moved. That's kind of hard, because they want to bring them to me. They don't want to, wherever I go, they go, the sheep go, because the dogs want the sheep to go with Natalie, because Natalie's alpha. They don't know who this kid is. Anyway, and then he wanted, if you've raised sheep, you will know how hard this is. They wanted that, so the whole flock goes with him, and then he stops, and then he walks away, and one sheep follows him. And the rest of the flock stands back, and so I had to use the dogs to hold, because so the sound isn't in there. The sound isn't in there because it's a music video, right? So they'll take the sound out. So I have to tell this dog to hold the flock, and then this dog to release this. It was not easy. So then the other call I get is the guy. They're doing some big art exhibit. There's this artist, and it's about life and death, and he wanted to do. He needed dead animals because the death part. So of course they have to call me in. I'm like, great place to call, because this is really this is a good time because it's lambing season. A lot of death. So anyway, I'm like, yeah, you'll definitely have something this week. So I had a ewe die, she just died, like literally. She was fine, and then like 15 minutes later I look at her and she's like, looks like she's sleeping and she's dead. So I call and I was like, okay, I have a ewe for you. He's like, well, how big? I was like, oh, she's about 150 pounds, 160 pounds. He's like, oh, I didn't know they got that big. But anyway, it's like, but the good news is I have a lamb that was born dead, but it's been in the garbage, so it's been decomposing for a couple days. And they're like, okay, we'll take that. We'll drive over. So they drove and got that. Then, and they still wanted more. So like, they just picked up yesterday a chicken that had been, actually, I didn't save that one. It had been in the garbage in Temecula heat, like 85, 90 degrees, like for 3 days. And then, and another lamb. And then today, the goose. So they're going to be so happy. So from Natalie, there will be, a little goat, 2 little sheep, 1 chicken, and now a goose. You guys are like, I would like to make it 2 chickens because I'd like to send William or Bob or whatever his name is. I really would. And my favorite thing too is that they go, but you don't have to kill anything for us. And I was like, why would I kill something for you? I said, I try to stop things from killing. I don't try to kill things. Just like, why would I kill something for you? So stupid. We have plenty of death here, my friend. Plenty of death. Believe me. And then Mary says, I wish you were close enough to buy a turkey for me. My husband loves turkey. I love turkey. And then Sony says, I use feathers in my pottery when I do horsehair fry rings. That's, oh my God. That's really cool. Hi, Phineas Pratt. Hi, Phineas Pratt. Good to see you. Heather O. And then Ms. Shelley says, did you sell feathers back when feather extensions were popular? No, I didn't. But those are where those birds are from. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess, like there are, one of the things about living so close to LA and San Diego, besides the fact that, it's very populated, and for like what I need, because I need to make a living, right? It's good. I mean, that's really good for me. And also, educating people about agriculture, which I'm so on like a dog on a bone. And that's, it's the only way I'm going to be able to have a retirement, right? Is to be able to sell this place. That's that is the end, right? Is what will happen. Is in the meantime, I'll try to, do as much as I can to help with agriculture. And I tell farmers all the time. So the whole time, like all those calls that I made to Montana and Idaho and Utah and New Mexico and Arizona, I was telling all of the farmers that like how the cow ate the cabbage. I was like, listen, you guys have been asleep making fun of all of these like crazy, you're thinking all these crazy people, this 0.001% that is like, killing us like farmers, killing everything, all of our, you know, we're being taxed to death. You know, they're taking away our water and selling the hay, you know, hay and exporting it, and the, you know, the all of the things that have happened. You guys have thought that it's not going to impact us, and not liking wool and being against beef, and you know, and making the management system so that nobody could afford to actually raise them because the regulations are so arduous. I said, you guys were laughing, and now look. And they're like, yeah, you're right. I said, yeah, I know. You can't, and the worst part is the people I'm talking to sound older than me. So it's like, and then it bums me out because I'm like, it's, you know, you talk to, you know, you want them, but I think there's, you know, you get old and tired. And you're like, let that be someone else's problem. That's what I think. That's kind of the gist of the way that I felt. And they were totally in agreement with me, but they're tired. They're tired. They should have, we needed to fight a long time ago. But so it's never too late to start. You're like, really? We know that because you never shut up about it. I know. I do love it. I do love it. I love hard work. Love hard work. Okay. And then Samantha said, I just watched your show last week on Amazon. So there's a guy that I don't buy fleece from him anymore in the UK. And he says to me, his name is, oddly enough, it's Daryl Pilkington. And he says, which is, oh my God, maybe she's a, oh wait. And then how's the one chicken I held in my shirt, Tamara? Is that the one that was that the white chicken? One of my white chickens? I don't remember. Anyway, what was it? I was just going to say something, and I should not have just distracted my thoughts because I was going to finish that thought and I didn't. And it was kind of, was it Germaine? God darn it, I can't remember. Someone can remind me because I can't remember. It'll never come to me. It will never come to me. You robbed me, Tamara, of my thought. You sucked it right through that. I just know you did, right? And you're going to try and use it, right? Nothing I say is that interesting. Okay, let's see. Uncle P. Oh, wait. Uncle. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right, Gerald. And he says, God, if I was your husband, I wouldn't be able to stand to be married to you. He's like, you really don't talk to your husband like that, do you? And I was like, no, of course not. I would never, in real life, ever talk to him that way. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. So Ms. Dahlia was saying that's about your madness. That's right. That's what he said. Oh, Tamara didn't expect me to remember which one. Tamara, you made me hurt my brain cells. Okay, Ms. Shelley, good night. And then Pastor Lynn says, farmers in my area just hide their head in the sand. I know. So yeah, so she said I was. No, it's Daryl Pilkington. It is Daryl Pilkington. But I got in all honesty, he's a Yorkshire. He's what are they? Yorkshireman. He's from Yorkshire, and I've heard that they are. They're like not. I don't want to say difficult to deal with, but ball breakers. Is that difficult? I'm a ball breaker, so. And that's the hard thing, like my neighbor, it's so hard because like when I went over there hanging my head down and saying, I need you to help me, you know, I know he's heard such horrible stories about me, but, and like I brought it up to him when I first met him because he came to meet me. I mean, he wanted to meet me, obviously, because I'm his neighbor and he's thinking, you know, he doesn't want any trouble, right? And he's heard that I'm sure he's heard that I can be a real C word, right? And I can, but I'm right to your face. Like, I'm not like one of these underhanded. I go straight to you. And I say, okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. Like, if I get to the point where I'm going to come to somebody, it's not going to be nice. There's going to be a lot of expletives, and I'm highly defensive, and I will throw down. Like, I won't back down. I'll tell you that. And so, and there have been, you know, a couple of occasions when it's required me to be that way. So, and I just told him, I said, hey, listen, you know, I'm sure you've heard I'm crazy. The guy did not say, no, I have not heard that. I've heard the most wonderful things about you. That is not what he said. He's just listening. I said, the one thing I can't take, and I'm going to tell you right now, is sound. So, I mean, you and I are not going to have a problem if you have no PA system. You don't have like compressors and generators and things going off all the time, and loud music, dogs barking constantly, blinking your eyes too loud. Then we'll be fine. Yeah. And then anyway, I said, you know, I don't like to be this way. I don't like to like not like sound. I don't like it. I would like to be a normal person, but I said, you know how you are about neatness? Because he is like, he told me he has a neat problem. He wants everybody else's property neat too. So he doesn't like when he drives by and sees that I have, branches that aren't in my dumpster, because they don't fit. So he went and hired another dumpster. And I said, cool, that's awesome. And he put it in there for me. I was like, cool, that's great. Thanks for helping me out. I didn't have to pay for it. And I said, you know how you are about people being neat and it makes you crazy? And he goes, yeah. I go, exactly. I mean, we all have our thing, right? I mean, just not all of us can say exactly what we're thinking or feeling. Okay, I'm sorry I'm going to boring you, but next week we are going out, by the way. And this is what we're going to do. I didn't dye. I told you I would. I didn't, but I am going to give away a sock blanket that I'm going to dye tomorrow. It's going to either be a sock blanket or yarn. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pick somebody from chat on YouTube. So you guys, you have to go to YouTube. Is it the same link? It is the same link. For a second, I thought I changed it. No, I did change it. I did change it. So if you're on Facebook, you have to go to YouTube right now, and it'll be live on Namaste Farms. Go to Namaste Farms channel. So it's youtube.com/Namaste Farms. So I'm going to wait a couple of seconds, because then you can go there, and then I'm going to start counting from the first person who says yes. From whoever the first person is, I'm going to count really quickly in numbers, and then I'm going to do random number generator. And then that person, I'm going to count to that person. I'm going to actually make a few people past it, just because I just want to, just in case I miss anybody. And then nobody will get their feelings hurt. They'll say, oh, she only counted to 46 and I'm the 48th. So I'll do a few. And if it ends up to be one of the numbers that isn't a person, then I'll just do another generator. It's just going to be that simple. And then the most simple part is I actually send it to you. Right? You don't have to do anything. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Do you guys have anything interesting to say? Do you guys have any ideas of? Oh, okay. So next, I am going to try for the knit along, you guys. I'm going to try to get. I'm not going to try. I'm going to do. That's what you're supposed to say. But I can't control my friend. But I am going to try and get our Pat on and talk a little bit more. But is there something you guys want to learn or know? Saddle butt. Okay, we're starting with saddle butt. She said yep, and I'm starting with saddle butt. So we're at Valerie. That's yes. I like the name saddle butt. I actually do. Is that saddle from motorcycle or saddle from? Oh, you guys. So I put my boots on because I put them on. This is one pair of them, and I like them because they have a tight ankle, not super tight. But I actually can't get these. I can't get these boots off by myself. Can you even see it? I can't get these boots off by myself. I have to have somebody help me. Can you see them? They're like all, wait, hang on. Can you see? They're all embroidered. They're Old Gringo, right? Old Gringos. That's the one, right? Is that the name? It's my new favorite shoes. Love these shoes. I almost fell off of that thing. You guys would have left. Okay, good. Yeah, okay. They're super cute. Okay, I'm going to start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That can't be all the people that are doing it. Thank you for saying my boots are cute. Thank you. I appreciate that because I happen to like them. And then I looked at the one of my other pairs that I really like, and I was like, oh, now the ankle looks so fat. Yeah, the pallet posts, they got so dirty. 16, 17. Okay, I'm at 17. Kate, hi Kate. Do you want to be in the thing, Kate, in the drawing? 17, 18, 19, 21. Yeah, I have to wait because they're coming in fast and furious. I just am a shoe person. You know, guys typically are watch people, right? They like cars and watches and gear. But I like boots. I don't know. And a lot of people like, Mary Caldwell likes fleece. I think most people do. You're doing the sweater, Ms. Daya. Okay, and then Mandolin, I'm guessing you're going to be in the drawing. Okay, good. I'm counting right now. Sorry. 7, 28, 29, 30. Okay, 30. So right now I'm going to do 30. Random number generator. I'm going to do 30 for 35. Random number. Hang on. Oh, it made my life really easy because I only have to count down 2. The number I would like to show you, it's 2. Let's see. So now I have to go back here. So anybody, you guys, I feel bad because now, see, because you know, I always want everybody to win. I do. I love to make people, or not make people. Okay, so Valerie Prell, is it Prell? P-R-E-L-L-E, or do I have to say the last vowel? So that's it. That's the person. And so that means you have to send me your information. So you can send it to info@woolshampoo.com. I just make it easy. Don't forget, you guys, I'm having, okay, so up are the classes. So there are classes that are up. They're right now on readymethod.com. And some of them are recorded, they're pre-recorded, but you have a live study session. And then the Dye Secrets is going to be coming around again. So that's the 7 classes. And then there's study sessions for that before the class. Like, so after the next week, right before class, there's a study session to make sure that you guys, and I'll get, you know, and the way that I teach you guys, just to let you know, I don't teach you like other people's methodology. It's stuff that I have, you know, figured out over the years, and I did a lot of, you know, it's like scientific, it's really scientifically based, but it has to have artistry too, obviously, because it's a visual art. So it has to look good. But I mean, the stuff I teach you is real, and it's very counterintuitive. I'm just going to let you know. You can't find the information online, and quite frankly, if you told a lot of people what it was that I teach you, they would be like, that's not true, because they don't know. That doesn't mean that there aren't a zillion amazing dyers that don't know what I know technically, because there are a lot of intuitive people that just figured it out, but they don't know why. They couldn't explain why, but they actually are amazing dyers, and that does happen a lot. And I was probably one of those people, but I wanted to know why. I want to know why person, so I go straight to peer-reviewed scholarly articles and start looking for information. And then you just start, you know, and then once you have that information, and then you just start seeing all these things, and it's easy to be able to teach that to other people. It really is. It really is. It doesn't mean that everybody can execute it, because so the other thing is that, you know, having muscle memory is a hard thing. So if you've been dying and getting, you know, results like very hit and miss, you know, but you always do it like that muscle memory you have to get rid of. So you have to like practice, and there's like methodologies and like tenets, and there's things that really, I mean, it's true, it's real, it's not fake. It's not fake news. And then the yarn dyeing class, Fleeces Revealed, is a great class, you guys. It teaches you a lot of stuff that I talk about when I'm talking about the fleeces, like the bridge and things, and you know, it has to do with that. So you can pick fleeces, and you actually end up in the end saving a lot of money because you don't buy crap. And I've had so many, like, really, I have a friend, and Jan knows her, she's on the board, Tamara knows her, she's on the board of Ready Method, Jennifer Nightingale. Like every once in a while she'll drop me a line and say something, you know, pretty amazing, and she was saying that she looks back, like she was like getting rid of a bunch of fleeces to be pre-Ready Method, and she's, so like, I think she was in the first time I taught it, which was 4 years ago, and she said she cannot believe how bad the fleeces that she picked out were, and that she thought were fine at the time, that it really, like, her, that she knows so much about fleece, etc. And she like used to take a lot of classes, you know, she's like an old timer doing this, you know, from Judith McKenzie, and just like it's not that, obviously Judith is a legend, that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm just saying that I have a different way of teaching, and I, you know, show a lot of different things because I shear my own animals, and I do a lot of brokering, so my hands are in a ton of fleeces and a ton of different breeds, and I, you know, from all over the world. And that, I'm telling you, shearing really teaches you so much. You know, the cottony feel, there's a cottony feel sometimes, and there's a dusty feel, and you know, there's just these feels that you end up knowing what happened to that fleece where you didn't know before. Like you'd get one of those fleeces and you wouldn't know why it was. Fleeces Revealed is a great class. It actually is one of my favorites because it just teaches people so much. But anyway, so go to readymethod.com/enroll, and then they are all online, and that's what makes it great, is you don't have to go anywhere. You can sit in the comfort of your own home, and you can watch it, you know, after, you know, if it's a live class, you can watch it after the live class as many times as you want until the elapsed time. You don't get to have them in perpetuity, but it depends on how big, how you know, it depends on the class, whether it's a short course or the longer course. It's a longer course, you get to have it for longer. Anyway, and I'm having a sale this weekend, probably Sunday. I'm going to say Saturday or Sunday, probably Sunday. It makes it easier for me. But I have some really cool fleeces. And I did show you, I think last time, yeah, I showed you the one that I dyed. The amazing one that I'm going to put up. That'll be up for sale too. The Scottish Blackface Lanark, which is amazing. Anyway, you guys, okay, I'm going to see you next week. And we're going to go out, unless it's going to be gale force winds, because the mic can't take it. You won't be able to hear anything. And then I'll shear and I'll show you on the animal, the live animal things, like the fleece and the way it grows and where it grows, you know, how it grows and why it's different, etc. And then, you know, I'll work the dogs and show you some babies. And if there's no one in the Airbnbs, which there might not be, I don't know. But whatever I can show you, I'm going to show you. So that you have a visual to, you know, our place, even though some of you watch Sheer Madness. But, you know, it's different because I'm doing what they want. And it does look different. Our place looks different now. But anyway, okay, you guys, I love you so much. And thank you. You guys make me feel so good. And I couldn't wait for Tuesday. Except for the part where I was going to have to hang my head in shame because I did not do anything on my knit-along. Damn it, you guys. But anyway, I will see you next week. And Valerie, don't forget to send me your address so that I can send you your gift. Blessings, everybody. We'll see you next week. And